Clock is now counting down. If you look to the left of the competition wall, as you look at it, the timer on. These are the screens that the athletes will use. So we know how long they have left on.
You are now.
There's a warning beacon when there's 1 minute left. And then there's another buzzing sound when the time is counted down. And that's when there'll be a rotation of climbers on the wall. So the climbers who've been climbing come off for a rest period, and new climbers go on.
So good afternoon, welcome to Sheffield. Welcome to Cwif 2015 here in Sheffield. And we'd love for you to get involved with us all day here. Hashtag Cwif at Climbing Works. And you can see that in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. In the background you can hear our host. We're going to let you have a quick listen to him, and in a moment we'll go through the semi-final lists that we've got.
23-year-old climber came second at last year's Echo.
So the women's semi-finals, as you can see, Florence Tilley, Jennifer Wood, Rachel Carr, 3 Brits to get us underway, and then a whole host of international climbers who will follow on from that. There are 20 climbers in the women's semi-finals.
It's a technical nightmare. It's Graham Alderson stop.
And we finish with Shauna Coxey, defending champion in the women's section, but she's in for a tough competition now. Somebody that's experienced how tough the women's competition already is the lady alongside me. That's Emily Garrett-Cox. Good afternoon, Emily.
Hello.
Now, you entered here yesterday.
I did.
How did that go?
It was hard. Yeah, really hard day yesterday, but amazing atmosphere. It was my first Cwif. I've done a lot of other sort of regional competitions, but the Cwif's amazing for having an international competition experience without, well, being an international standard competitor, really.
Well, you had difficulty with your problems yesterday. Now you've got a problem because you sat here with me. So we're going to go through commentary together, and we're going to look for Emily to talk to us. For those perhaps who are tuning in and it's their first experience at Cwif or of bouldering in general, we're going to look towards Emily to give us some direction and help us out. And maybe you'll spot some things from yesterday and you think, oh, I wish I'd known that yesterday. But their loss is our gain, Emily, as far as I'm concerned. Former gymnast, but it is one of those where core strength is a big part of this, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, if you can't hold yourself on, then you'll fall off. So
there's the simple version. Yeah, we'll work on the harder parts. There's the men's semi-finals. Now there are 23 in the men's semi-finals. The standard was so high they opened it up to 23. You start again with a good selection of great British climbers. Ethan Walker down to Lewis Parkinson in that first 5, and then Swiss and Danish competitors as well. Tom Newman, Dario O'Connor, Ben West at the top of that one. Jorg Verhoeven, and we'll tell you a little bit more about the Dutch climber a little bit later on. We've got something really special coming up on the Twitter page this afternoon. And also Alexander Megos competing here. Ewan McFadden. And the final 3 to go were the ones that scored the highest yesterday. And David Barron's 281 and 30 bonus points. Got Edward Vihele and Roland Rugens from Latvia as well. So looking forward to the competition. And as you said, Emily, yesterday the standard was really high.
Yeah, well, as ever, and as it should be when we've got such a high level of competition here. You can't throw them easy problems, can you? Yeah, should be good.
So as we say, all the action being brought to you. We're scheduled to be live through this stream up until around about 3 o'clock, or at least when the semi-finals finish, and we'll be bringing you the finals action from 6 o'clock onwards. So again, get involved. Do send us your tweets. Hashtag CWIF Cwif So I hope you're watching. And Carl Lang is already joining in. He's got a shout out to Ricky Young, who we can see on the stream. We didn't do that on purpose. He's there. But yeah, get your tweets into us. After a tough day of competition, Emily, what will these guys have done to rest up, prepare for today?
Well, I suppose that will depend on each of their personal preferences. Everyone's got their own little bit of climbing competition preparation psych that they'll want to do, but they'll probably have had some food, had a stretch, maybe a protein shake, something like that, and some coffee this morning maybe. But yeah, as I said, depends what does it for them. Everyone will have figured out their own way of what does it for them for competition prep. Yeah.
One of those sports where caffeine's more than welcome.
Absolutely, yeah.
I noticed that you were straight down to the caffeine bar a little bit earlier on, straight up with a coffee.
Yeah.
Commentary and climbing goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
The 2015 IFC calendar is now on your screen as well. It goes to Innsbruck in May, the 14th, 16th. That's European in Championships. Goes to as far wide as Canada, the US, China, and Germany as well. So if you're interested in that, get yourself on the IFSC website and find out all the information how you can take part, or perhaps be a part of supporting those athletes taking part in that. Here, we're just waiting for the competition to get underway. If I had to put you on the spot in both divisions, who would you be looking for out of the female? Let's start with the women's list of qualifiers first. Out of that list, who do you feel will be really strong in this competition?
Well, Shauna's an obvious choice. She did so well last season. So close to being world champion. You can't really argue with that as being someone who you think is going to win. With the international names, I wasn't particularly clued up or ready for doing this today. But yeah, well, hopefully I'll be rooting for all of the English girls and then see what the competition brings.
It is a competition where amateurs can take on pros, and I suppose that can be a little bit daunting, can't it? As an amateur, you walk on and think, hang on, I'm used to watching this person climb on the international circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think because climbing's sort of not a sport that's got so much money in that you don't meet an amazing climber at your local climbing wall, because you do, especially up here. So maybe we're more used to seeing them, but yeah, unbelievable to see all this amazing talent and be competing against them, seeing how they climb.
Well, this is the only UK international climbing competition, and you can get involved. All we want is your tweets. Follow @ClimbingWorks. We're on Instagram as well. Get your pictures sent in. There's a live Q&A. Now, we mentioned Jorg Verhoeven from the Netherlands a little bit earlier on. He'll be competing in the semi-finals, and then he's got a tough afternoon. He's going to be answering your questions from 3 till 4 on the Twitter. So a live Twitter Q&A with one of our climbers, Jorg Verhoeven. Make sure you get your questions in and just ask them anything you want to know about the world of climbing. We're led to believe there's a slight technical delay here inside the venue. Again, we are actually ready. Have you been out and taken a look at the climbs?
Yeah, I had a look from my seat in the middle down there earlier, and they look super hard, really poor holds and tricky Cwif styles. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how everybody does.
Rocking the vest top and woolly hat look here.
Yeah,
it's exactly how we look in
Where's
the commentary
Wally?
box, if that helps.
Come on.
It's got the bonus hold there already.
Yeah. Perfect.
Well,
easy done.
A completion first time of asking.
Yeah.
bit more volume. Very, very nice. He's travelled the world. He's got volume.
So that's Ethan Walker safely through.
Yeah. Easy peasy. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how everybody else does.
3 minutes, 30 minutes. 3.5 minutes to wait before the next climber comes out. Next climb on this problem is going to be Kaylin Harker. Have we got any information on Kaylin? Kaylin's from upgrade climbing. Kaylin's 25. British. One of the Bristol crew. He's a climbing coach at upgrade.
So the question on the other side is he wearing stilts or slacks today?
Seems you're already popular, Emily. George Sharp says massive shout out to Emily Cox on the commentary.
Thanks, George.
Look at that, eh? Just waiting for our second competitor,
Climbing 13 years.
who we believe should be Kaylin Harker.
Oh, sorry, that's Ron and Jerry.
Kaylin goes second in this year's ECBO. Downtree bowling open.
Apologies, just a slight delay in venue. That's the issues with live sport. Welcome to live sport, Emily,
Leads the top spot by new climber Arnold.
where you just never know what may happen.
Egyptians are illegal. I can't go into it.
It'd be interesting to hear your predictions, by the way, if you're at home and you're watching the stream. Hashtag CWIF. Send us the names of the people you think will be top of the pile later on this evening, men or women. Maybe just send us the name of the people you're following through the stream. You couldn't get here to Sheffield. Let us know who you're following and supporting. We'll give them a mention. Bethany Walton's trying to do her university work.
She's a new climbing, new bowling centre Bristol. Another copy of the climbing works.
And again, don't forget to join us this evening for the finals from 6 p.m. onwards.
There are lots of them now.
Less corners.
One minute there. Sorry, Martin, I didn't mean to interrupt. 4 minutes there.
It's in Leeds. We have former finalists, Will Atkinson watching. Willow's done some fishing these days.
We definitely started a bit fishy last night in the boat. We've been tickling trout all day.
70% of it fishing. You got the 11% significant sample from your first. Very significant. That's what she's attacked, but you know, just trying.
Oh. Start it.
I think that was a good decision you would hit.
Because his hip squeaking. Someone over his hip. Okay, here comes Kaylin.
So we can get back to the action then. This
Yeah.
is,
Let's see
Kaylin.
how he does.
and to answer one of the questions we've just been set, the extra men that have gone through into the semi-finals are being allowed to go first, so then we can work our way through with men and women in sync as normal. At Van Dam Etienne says Collier and Magos will definitely win. Go Chloe. This is Kaylin Harker. Will he make us light work?
So he's
our first competitor.
approaching that a little bit differently to the previous climber.
Finger in his hand. Finger his foot. Come on, Kaylin. Sit off there.
Keep going. So he's just getting himself ready for his next attempt. That's better.
Short cut between try. Try and keep the whole mat clean, not too greasy. Right, come on, Katie, this time.
So he's on his second attempt.
Trying a different way.
Just struggling
So remember these climbs
to
can't see these from
make the ascent.
They're climbing on side, so they haven't seen anyone.
Yeah, so
Sponge-
as I said before, these holds are super hard to hold on to. Like you can see there's not a lot of edge.
After a little while, I suppose SpongeBob SquarePants laughing at you is going to start to get into your mindset.
Hopefully he won't let it get into him in this time frame.
Better on the skill. Come on, Katie.
Ewan Willis is
Nice.
he's watching. Good afternoon to you, Ewan. Kellyanne Harker again reaching round to that bonus hold, and SpongeBob gets one in the eye. Up he goes. There we are.
Good. Both hands in the finishing hold to finish.
And there you go. You can perhaps hear the announcers in the background, but both hands do have to touch that top hold. Sometimes you got one on there, and it's just that next piece of energy to just try to reach up and grab it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, putting the second hand on that top hold is a whole other move. So, yeah, you have to completely change your body position a lot of the time, and the route setters will have made sure that it's a little bit tricky to do that.
Darn route setters.
Well, they've got to keep it interesting.
I'd imagine a route setter on the climbing circuit is the person that gets the least Christmas cards, I'd imagine.
Or the most.
Or the most, I suppose, yeah. Yeah. Good way of thinking around that, Emily.
Yeah. Bribes.
Or get one top in one try.
So, two of our extra men have been. Otto says, got to be Shauna Coxey for the win.
You see the next climb down. So Matt
I think a lot of people will be predicting that.
on men's at 1
And certainly Emily's pick as well, but
to men's 2.
he says only watching on the stream. What do you mean only? One of the best places to watch, other than right at the fence.
Matt Cousins,
We've got all the action here.
car mechanic.
And
Best end landing.
the coat's back on here, and it is important to keep yourself right temperature, keep yourself mentally ready for when it is your go.
Yeah, totally. Got to stay warm, stay fed, keep your sugar levels up, and just, well, anything to keep you in the game.
At the moment, the scoring system is configured to work so that men and women can climb together, so they're having to let the clock run out, we're led to believe, so that's why these three extras just taking a little bit longer. Good crowd here. Well, they've been gathering for the last hour and a half or so.
Yeah, queuing up to make sure you get a good spot.
Yeah, you have to get here early at Climbing Works to get a car parking space. I found that out myself, and I was 2.5 hours early. So plenty of people ready and wanting to take part and wanting to show their support here.
Yeah.
At the circuit climb says Shauna Coxey and Tito for the victories. Again, if you got a favourite or you think someone's going to win, let us know. You can get all the information you need on the Climbing Works website. Don't forget to follow the stream later on for the final as well. But here we're just working out who's going towards the final now. In the background of your image, you'll see Ethan Walker, who's on to his second problem. And some of these will really test the arm span here.
Yeah. So you see the two, the previous climber and Matt are both approaching this in the same way.
Now these problems are set by a combination with the route setters, including our guest setter from this year from Switzerland.
Maybe that's Ethan's good luck hat.
Very experienced World Cup setter.
Yeah, I was having a look at this problem earlier. It looks so hard. The penultimate hold just looks like there's nothing to hold on to. So I'm looking forward to seeing who can grapple that.
Now, one of the officials here is pointing out towards the orange pieces of tape. Emily, if you want to explain to those again that perhaps are a bit new to the world of climbing and the bouldering, what's the orange tape significant for?
So these bits of orange tape, you've got to make sure that you start with both your hands and your feet on all of those. So the ones that are indicated for your hands and for your feet, you've got to make sure you start with each appendage on one of those, otherwise your attempt won't count.
So that was Ethan's problem. Matt in the background here is just very close.
Yeah, really close. So again, what I was saying, that final match.
And again, early doors here, it's giving us an opportunity to see things that, again, people who aren't perhaps affay with the sport. There was a large pole. Matt's got hold of it. What's he doing there?
So he was brushing his holds, try and get the sweat and chalk off. It's a bit of a psychological game, I suppose, as well.
As if to say, it wasn't my fault, it was the chalk.
No, not necessarily that. Just kind of psychs you up, say, right, I've done everything I can do to make this route climbable. Let's have at it.
Well, having at it right now.
Yeah.
There's Ethan Walker closest to us, and further away, that's Matt Cousins.
Yeah.
Both British climbers, and Matt is one hand on again. Unlucky.
Matt's got a little bit less of a wingspan than the previous two climbers, so his foot's coming off SpongeBob on hitting that final hold, meaning he's got to cut loose before he can match, which obviously makes that a little bit trickier.
What other sport in the world is it legitimate to call something SpongeBob and it means something?
That's why we love it.
That's why we love it indeed. And the chalk being applied here, and Matt is having to use not only his physical strength, he's now starting to use the brain power as well, because he's trying to figure out his way up here. And perhaps looking around for some inspiration. Sometimes you just need to stop a second, don't you, and readdress it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's tried the route the same way twice now, and it's not worked, so he's looking for any little bit of help that he can get.
Kaylin Harker and Ben West for the win. Hashtag Cwif, that's from Tom Frost 04. We've seen Kaylin a little bit earlier.
So he seems to have got these moves really dialed now, so we'll see how he gets on with this final move again. Hopefully he'll just hang on.
Into the final minute
on.
and 60 seconds. That's one hand on again for Matt. And, well, he's got two hands on, but it's on his forehead this time. Can't quite believe he has been so close on, is that 3 occasions now?
Yeah.
He's just having the bonus hold cleaned again. That seems to be where his major problem is coming from. Plenty of encouragement coming. I'm not sure whether you're picking it up through the stream, through the system, but Ethan Walker, down he comes again. And there are plenty of shouts from Matt Cousins here. They're really encouraging the youngster to get up, and he's just starting to run out of time. 15 seconds. He'll have to really attack this, Emily.
Yeah, so he's got to make sure he gets on before the time runs out. And, he's out.
Oh, that's Matt's job not quite done, and Ethan Walker falls backwards.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about the men's problem too that much then. We were mainly focusing on Matt, but it looked like a bit of a dance. So it would be interesting to see this next attempt, see how they read it.
So Kaylin Harker will take on problem 2, whilst we'll get introduced to Adam Watson on the far side. And Adam, no messing about here, Emily. He's a big fella.
Yeah.
Big frame, and he's off. He's a tall lad to start with, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're not on. Yeah.
Yes, come on. Yes. Into the shoulder breaker.
So So we're moving into the women's section as well, and focusing there. That's Flo Tilley, 18 years of age, and all 4 limbs have to be on that very first starting block.
On that first block, yeah. So I don't think we can see it just now, but I'm sure we'll get plenty of opportunities to have a look at it, making the start pretty awkward. But
that's a long reach up, isn't it?
She's
needs
got to make sure
the right
she's
leg strength here.
controlled on that last hold. Brilliant.
One more to go, and that's sort of, as you're looking at it, sort of higher to the middle of the screen, so it's towards her left. Multicoloured chalk bag.
So on these slabs, it's all about control, taking your time, making sure you're balanced before you take the next step.
One hand on, and Flo comes across her, and it's a really tiny hold that she's got an issue with. And that bonus hold as well is being cleaned, and Flo Tilley has 2 minutes 45 on problem 1. Turning our attention back to the men, it's Kaylin Harker on problem 2, and Adam Watson, who's just to the right of your screen in the blue vest top here. And again, it's just taking a couple of moments out to have another rethink, have another look round.
Yeah.
Just going to go back to Flo's problem here, Emily. 4 parts of your body on a very, very small space.
Yeah.
That's just tricky to get started with.
Yeah, absolutely. But she's got to be controlled with all four limbs on that triangle before she can move off, because otherwise her attempt won't be allowed.
So again, just explain to those at home, she can't just very quickly dab her right foot now.
Yeah.
Will that count? Is she on there long enough?
Yeah.
So that's major start of the problem. Kaylin Harker off your screen is higher than we've seen so far, and has just gone down in what I think was his 4th attempt already. And Harker is taking a look at the clock that's sort of behind our competitors to their left. And Emily's up to the problem 1 again, but that bonus hold.
Yeah, so she wasn't quite as careful on that second attempt. She was taking her time on the first one, which obviously helps on slabs.
Well, problem 1 is causing a few issues for the current men.
I don't think that's something we were expecting after watching the first attempt.
No, I'd say Ethan Walker was up there as quick as you like.
Yeah.
Kaylin got there eventually, but since then, Matt Cousins and Adam Watson have struggled. Final 60 seconds here. Flo Tilley needs to do this in the next 50 seconds, and just dangling that left leg down, precariously close to the mat.
Yeah.
And you can see how close these problems are to each other. Kaylin is off screen. There we go, nearest to us. He's got his left toes literally keeping him in this. One big stretch. He's one big stretch too far for Kaylin Harker. And he gets a massive round of applause from this Sheffield crowd. Real big respect. Look how tiny that foothold is here for Flo Tilley.
10 seconds left.
Well, looking at this first problem, Emily, I'm imagining you're half glad you sat here with me rather than having a crack at this, because it's proving a bit difficult.
It is. Well, as to be expected, my hands are sweaty getting involved.
Yeah, for some reason Emily's brought chalk up to the commentary position. I'm not sure what you've got chalk for. Your grip on this coffee is fine. So 5 minutes for our next competitor on number 1. That's Jennifer Wood in the far of your picture, just to the sort of left middle.
So she's got on that first block in a different way. Everyone will have a bit of a dance while they figure out how to do it.
What's he got this week?
So you can see she's now figured out the same way as Flo did.
So remember, these guys are climbing in reverse order of qualification. So the very best climbers from yesterday's qualification round will be our last. That normally means that the first guys have a tough time.
But not always.
But not always.
So this is Jennifer Wood here, who represented Great Britain at the Youth Olympics. The took 4 trial sports, this being one of them. Based here in Sheffield, doing her exams. I was reading a bit of her blog earlier. She's been busy with exams and busy climbing as well. So both of those beyond me. Oh, and very, very close here. Louis Parkinson.
Yeah, he seems to be having a similar problem to Matt at the top.
Current scores on the doors.
Jen Wood is as high as Flo Tilley got.
Yeah.
Can she complete where Tilley couldn't?
We'll
Again,
see on these next holds.
Having to use that left foot on that tiny foothold.
Yeah, that's it.
Big chance here, and Wood stumbles to the ground.
Yeah, so even though they can lean in on these slabs, it's still, those holds are just not good.
Rachel Carr in the foreground of the picture, waiting for her turn. Keep those tweets coming, by the way. Her hashtag is, of course, on the bottom right of your screen. Has just got a glimpse of Lewis Parkinson on the bottom right of your screen a moment ago. He's the next male competitor up. They all get 5 minutes to attack their problem. They then get 5 minutes rest before they move on to their second. So we'll see Flo Tilley in a moment when we get our first look at the second problem for the women. But here, Jen Wood looking a bit more comfortable. She seems to be getting to this part a lot easier than Flo.
Yeah, well, it seems like she's got her climb sort of sorted until this point, so now she just needs to focus on how she's going to attack those penultimate holds.
An obvious observation, but obviously going 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, it's a lot better because you're looking at where people are going right, but equally where people are going wrong.
Yeah.
Jen Wood needs
Really
2 great moves here, and that's it. First woman to conquer the first problem.
Yeah, so she got her body in the right position to be able to just kind of lean into those final holds then.
So the seamless mix there for the DJ. Nice one, guys.
So back to the men's event then. This is Louis Parkinson. Scored 253 yesterday with 29 bonus points. Louis just trying to grip onto that very small hold on the left-hand side of his problem. He's up to SpongeBob, he's up to the marker. He needs that right hand now. He needs that right hand from the problem hold. There he is. And didn't he enjoy that?
Yeah. So he just managed to keep his foot on SpongeBob then to stay on for the final match.
The ladies' comp, we have Rachel Carr.
So Rachel Carr up next.
Flo Tilley is on women's 2.
From Switzerland, she's 16 years old. Baptiste.
Baptiste from Switzerland. I think he's here with his brother. His brother's also qualified.
So loads of activity now. You can see Flo Tilley energetically trying to get her hand just above her head and hang on for dear life, but she's got rid of the bag. She's got rid of her satchel on her back.
Well, so that's a boulder bucket, so you wouldn't tend to take that up with you. That's one for leaving. Oh no, I can see she's dropped her chalk bag. Yeah, excess weight.
European champion in his category, the racing category.
And well, making it look easy is
done.
Baptiste Ometz.
It'll be just like the European champion.
Yeah, so Flo's got a big jump to a poor hold behind her there. She's got to make sure she keeps her body tension while she jumps out. Difficult to coordinate.
I love the arms crossed, sort of in a bit of a strop look that she's gone for here. I'm not happy, basically. Here we go, some great angles here. Take a look at more than one problem in one go. We've got 2 angles of Flo Tilley, and she's looking at more than 2 angles at the moment. She's trying to figure out how to get up to problem 2. But going here on problem 1, Rachel Carr, striking purple hair, and she's got her hand on the bonus hole. Now she needs to move away. And this is the bit that's caught everybody out so far, Emily, but no problem whatsoever here
Nicely
for Rachel
done.
Carr.
Yeah, ticked all the boxes.
Keep your eyes peeled for Rachel Carr going forward. She's made problem 1 look very, very easy.
So obviously the fewer attempts they spend, the better off they will be later because of points and because of their energy levels. So yeah, good work.
Yep, fewer attempts in a quicker time. Gives you a little bit longer to rest and relax and get your head round. Also, I suppose as well, gives them a little bit longer to take a look at what the competitors before you were doing on the next problem. If you can get off the first one, go and watch them on the second perhaps and
Are they
have a look
allowed
at it.
to watch the next people?
I'm asking you.
I don't think they will be allowed to.
you go.
They'll be. That's why they've got their backs to the problem. They want to. They're not. So they're looking at each problem fresh. They're not allowed to watch the competitors beforehand.
Superb.
Yeah. So each attempt will be, their own doing, I suppose.
There you go, we're trying to fill in the gaps for those of you new to the sport. And see our announcer just at the foreground of your image, top left of your screen. There's an in-venue announcer as well, keeping everybody moving. That's Percy. Percy is the person who's organised all this. The main route setter. He's the one with all the Christmas cards we spoke about earlier.
With all the Christmas cards.
All the cards.
It's such a big jump on that women's second problem.
To try and have to move backwards off a wall and upwards.
Yeah.
And
so
then hold on to such a tiny
you're
hole.
kind of going blind. So the more attempts that she does, the better idea she'll have, but the more tired she'll be.
Next up for the women is Naomi Langerkamp. And Joe Wilson for the men. Baptiste Ometz, who we saw very quickly because he made light work of problem 1. He's not on his own, his brother Samuel is here as well. Both qualified for these semi-finals, so it's a real family affair.
Go team.
Go team indeed.
So Flo's going to be on her last couple of tenths in these 30 seconds, trying to make sure it counts.
Against that backwards jump.
Yeah.
It's really catching Flo Tilley out here.
Yeah.
And you just catch her little facial expression. I think she's decided that that's it. That's enough of that one.
A lot of attempts doing the same thing. She's probably decided that she wants to save her energy for the next blocks.
Mentally here, how does this start to hurt you as well? You've gone on to problem 1, not got to the top. You've gone on to problem 2 after your rest. You've not got to the top. Mentally, how's this starting to work?
Yeah, so it's probably going to be quite tough for her to go on to the next problems and kind of go in with a positive attitude, but hopefully she will, and see if she can see them afresh and get on it.
As we said, Joe Wilson up next for the men. You can see he's got light green cargo pants on. Very similar to the lady next to him on problem 1 in the women's division. This is Anne-Louis Chevier. Langenkamp is next after her.
Yeah, I was climbing with her yesterday. She did a great job.
And again, here you go. You can see for Anne, she has to get both hands, both feet onto the very starting block here. And
So Jen's just stuck that.
Jen Wood is having an absolute belter.
Yeah.
This is the hard part. She's managed to conquer the bit that Flo Tilly couldn't. That backwards jump, holding on to the singular hold. Just failing with that block, and that block starts to come out and away from the wall. You can't quite tell from that angle, but it does start to come out as well.
Yeah, so the wall's overhanging, and then the volume's adding an extra angle on top of that, so they're almost upside down.
A good old upside down technique.
Men's problem 2 being attempted in another way there.
On men's 3, Keith Walker on men's 4.
So she's going to fall onto this last hold, hopefully. Yeah. That seems to be the way to do it.
Well, that's 3 successes on problem 1 for the women. Bit of a mixed bag for the men on problem 1 so far.
So Jen's about to do this massive jump again. Hopefully she can stick it the second time. The attempts on the overhang will be more taxing.
2 screens on the right hand side of your image here, and that's very near second attempt. And we saw with Flo Tilly perhaps just the strength in the fingers and the strength in the arm, just wasn't able to hold on to that. Here, not so bad. A tough landing a moment ago there for Louis Parkinson.
Really spare time. Features in the parking yard.
Jen Wood does seem to have the sort of slightly bigger, stronger arms than Flo Tilly.
Yeah, so it might give her the advantage. Doesn't always mean that. See that first big powerful move when she stuck it. That seemed to be her beans for for that move. So it's tricky
certain parts of it getting a clean now, and I'm sure we'll see Jen Wood attack that again. It's in the foreground once again. We've got Joe Wilson, Louis Parkinson, just on the bottom right of your screen. Gets himself up to the bonus hold, but even with the use of his feet, hooking the heel on, just couldn't find the power to manoeuvre himself any further. Down he came.
Come on, Joe. Yes.
Yeah, so Flo's really struggling to stick that hold again. It's such a powerful move to be able to stick more than once. It's a shame she came off.
Yeah, in the dying seconds, Jen Wood suffers the same fate as the lady before her. Flo Tilly, Jen Wood not quite managing problem number 2. So let's introduce the next lady on problem 1. That's Naomi Langenkamp. And it means the lady with purple hair, which is Rachel Carr, will attack problem 2 whilst Flo Tilly moves on to our first look at problem 3. So it's all moving very nicely and swiftly on. A lot of bodies on the mat. Makes a commentator's job interesting, doesn't it? For those of you at home watching, Emily's face whilst trying to commentate is a bit like I imagine her face is when she first gets to look at one of the problems. Trying to figure it all out. It's a lot of fun when you get used to it. Here, trying to get used to it is Naomi Langenkamp, top left of your screen as you look.
Yeah, so she's got all 4 points on that hold.
Went for a completely different method to everybody else. That was interesting.
Yeah, that's the great thing about spectating climbing competitions. You really see a massive vocabulary of moves and just, yeah, really interesting way to climb. And Cwif route setting kind of provokes that to start off with. She's moving really nicely on this slab.
She works nightmares the rest of these balls. That's horrible. So technical.
Oh.
So slippery. That's awful. So we got Watson on Main Street.
So we've got the men on block 2. Is that block 2 or are they on 3 now?
The men are up to 3, I would imagine. Maybe even 4. I think that's Kaylin Harker going on problem 4.
Yeah, come on, Flo.
Lots of cheering going on for Flo, and she'll need that now. Having failed the first 2, she does need
the crowd. Yeah, hopefully the crowd will spur her to help her get up.
Hashtag Cwif, CWIF. Send us through your tweets. We're going to have a quick look through them again in a moment.
Bob's in action.
It's one of those where you just got to think to yourself, if I can get my foot on Spongeon's forehead, I've got a chance here.
Yeah, so he needs to keep his Bob to hit that last hold and stick on it.
Well, Langenkamp is up and just a few more movements away from completing problem 1, and so far, well, I was going to say, other than Flo Tilley, everybody's completing it, but well, she's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Clock now at the bottom middle of your screen, the hashtag and the place to follow.
All those action moments. Contact in this round and circulation. Rotation. Nice shuttle.
Rachel Carr just having a look at problem 2. She's just off the screen at the moment. You can see the right hand corner of your screen here, Emily, so that's the big black boulder that's sticking out here. That's the problem, that overhanging, and it's got a bit of red tape, so of course it is the hardest thing to grab hold of on this problem, but it is really causing an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it does seem to be. We've only seen one woman hit it and stick it once and then not be able to move up from it. So here she goes again. Just looks so hard to stick that hold. Kind of pure strength move that Rachel's struggling with there. Just blindly moving out to a difficult move. One arm.
Big hello to Climb Newcastle and Sport Climbing Australia. Lord knows what time it is here.
No idea.
Not even going to hazard a guess. We've had around about 40 minutes or so of climbing action here. It really does just sort of motivate everybody onto all of the problems. You really are just moving on.
Yeah, it's difficult to keep up.
We'll change in a moment. Naomi Langenkamp has been and gone. She's had her crack at problem 1. But, Ida Remskat.
So a start.
Anybody out there watching who's getting into the sport, realising that it's just adaptability, how you feel you can get onto that hold is probably the best way.
Yeah, absolutely, and also it depends on your flexibility, your strength, your height, all the different proportions that will mean that what suits you best do that move.
In some sports, imitation is limitation, and I suppose this is probably one of those.
Yeah. So we've got Anne Lord doing well on block 2. She stuck that hold that everyone was having trouble with. Hopefully she can carry on moving up.
It's interesting there, Chevier trying to wedge her ankle back of her foot.
Stick your fingers underneath your foot, but sometimes it's the only way. But yeah, putting the heel on will pull your body into the wall, which is the aim.
A real
really.
no pain, no gain sort of method there being used by Anne-Laure Chevier.
Yeah, so kind of shuffle her hand along a little bit, place, and then obviously the more you shuffle, the more chance there is of falling off.
Joe Wilson having a crack at problem 2.
Remska just finished problem 1 nicely.
Good stuff from Ida. Maud Ansari is next up in a couple of moments. Still got 2 minutes. So again, as you were on about, Emily, finishing nice and early. 2 minutes on top of your 5 that you're already allotted for rest. That's good stuff.
Oh, that's a shame. So many people have attempted that heel hook on with their foot on SpongeBob, but it seems to be just shifting the weight over seems to be a better way to do it.
And we're watching Samuel Ometz. We've had.
So Chevier stuck that hold again, which is not, we haven't seen that before. Oh yeah.
Yes, look at that. Impeccable technique.
Are we about to see problem 2 solved?
Hopefully. She eschewed the heel hook. Yeah. Really nicely done.
And this place has exploded. Sheffield has really put its hands together for Anne-Laure Chevier, and the first time we've seen one of the ladies get to the top of problem 2 in that section, and it took some work.
It really did. And she just pulled out all the stocks and used every bit of power she had. Yeah, it seemed to be spending less time on that black volume was the key, but we'll see how everyone else gets on with it.
So Samuel Ometz, he'll know his brother's completed this, and if it's anything like my fam, just wandering around. They're doing a top job here, keeping everybody in order. Right, Jennifer Wood, bottom left, middle of the screen, just getting her left hand and hanging on here.
Yeah, so Adam for the men, he got rid of the heel hook and just moved his body over either way. It's a shame because he could have done that in the previous attempt.
So we'll have a switch around, try and keep you up to speed with so going first, we'll take on problem 1 for the ladies, and again we'll be interested to see how Maud tackles problem 1 here, Emily, because we have seen a real variation in the last couple of people that have gone, real variation on how they attack that first block.
So she's having a good think about it now, because obviously you don't want to slip off and lose an attempt.
Emily's taking a look at problem 1 for the ladies. I'm going to have a look at how Naomi Lagenkamp gets on, because that's that jumping backwards hook hand on problem 4. It's our first chance to see. That was Adam Watson falling.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody move on from that blue volume that they're brushing now. It looks pretty poor.
Tilly, you can see, if you look at the bottom right of your screen, she's there in the middle. If you take a look to the left, bottom left, she's actually on the far right hand side of that. So 2 different angles camera wise. You can get a quick look at problem 4, and there's a multi-sided white block that comes out with Adidas written across the middle.
So the screen doesn't necessarily depict how steep that angle is. It's the steepest of all the 4 problems. It's hard.
Yeah, don't worry about the angle. We'll just tell you it's difficult. It is. It's nearly overhanging. It is the only way I can probably get this coming back out before you even make a start, and body strength that we talked about, because they hold your entire body up and then start manoeuvring as well. And sometimes during problem 4 for the women, your legs just become completely obsolete. There's nothing you can do with them, is there?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, obviously that's what we try and do a lot to make sure that we body working all at the same time. But yeah, sometimes like heel hook down.
A bit like a sort of clock face, if you like.
Yeah, looks like it. Rachel's making a bit of progress on that block 3 then.
You can see Rachel Carr just off the screen at the moment. She's got purple hair. You just and Maud Ansari.
Now all the stops.
Trying it a different way around this time. She was sort of facing towards the wall the last time she had a heel on that hole, away from the wall.
Yeah, try way, see what worked for you to give you inspiration. You've got to just go with your own.
Ansari, 40 seconds on the clock here. Hang on for a certain.
It has to be in control on the last day. I think is the general rule.
Interesting there. The French lady has just shook her head. Not having another go at that. Doesn't have the same attitude here. She's going straight back to problem 2, and that overhanging hole that is causing so many issues. She's up again. One more crack at it this time.
Yeah.
Hand on the forehead. That's the end of that one for her. So Carr, Tilly, Langenkamp and Ansari move on. For Tilly, that's the last of her action here. Seemed to struggle with all of those, didn't she?
Yeah, well, like she's at the beginning of her climbing career, so yeah, comps are hard, and so was this. She's done a good job.
Hopefully she'll take away the experience here and the different ways that she's had to try and tackle some of these, do it and make it look so easy at times.
Yeah.
Flow for the rest of the day, we feel. Top 6 making it through into the finals. Remember, from 6 p.m. tonight. And we have moved on. And we'll get our first look on problem 1 for the men. Newman. Louis Parkinson is on problem 4 for the men. And again, we've not seen anybody at a very awkward angle. And Louis, will he be our first one past it?
Making good SpongeBob problem. Oh, we haven't seen anyone do it that way before.
No, I was going to say that's a heel in the other.
A few people try.
Just one more hand needed, and
so that everyone stuck that last.
It's just about just hanging on for those, as you say. You've got to be in control.
Yeah, but making sure that the right place, because you can hold on all you like, but if your foot comes off too much, it'll take you off.
Scott is on to problem 2 on the ladies section. Samuel Ometz attacking problem 2 for the men. Joe Wilson on 3. Louis Parkinson having a go at that treacherous 4th. Jennifer Wood, who we saw conquer problem 1 with no issues whatsoever. She just absolutely launched her way up there, as Charlotte Gardner is hoping to do right this second, but Wood is just sort of having a look at 4, and she has been doing for some 10 seconds here, and the time just running on. She's gaining a bit, recouping a little bit, but I think equally struggling to comprehend now she gets the best of it. Charlotte Gardner has got the best of problem 1. She launches herself back to the floor with a minute extra to spare, so she'll be happy with that. Will attack 4 again.
Yeah, so with these overhanging problems, you've got to make sure you give yourself enough between each.
Tom Newman has a minute here, and again, I love the hold arms folded technique. You think about it.
Trying to tell the route who's boss.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, I think it's pretty much fit.
With SpongeBob?
Yeah. Half the guys have had a good time with him. The other ones have come down with square pants, so...
that's the case with climbing full stop.
Okay. In the women's comp we have Cwif Spate, Swiss climber, 17 years old. Dara climbs up the gravity climbing wall in Dublin, which is the second best bouldering wall in the world after Climbing Works, obviously.
So we're on to our next list. We're just having a few technical issues and we apologise for those. Dara O'Connor is now on for the men. And Yara Spate. Yara Spate, should I say.
Come on, Dara. Come on, Dara. Do it. Come on, Dara.
And a tentative shuffle across that first column. Having to stretch out, a full stretch. And you can see the left foot still left on the very edge of the very first block that she has to start on. And the right arm stretched right across the full width of that lady being used. And again, she's going to have to try that once more. You need we're looking at problem one here, top left of your screen as you're watching it, and the strength there in the right calf and the right leg, getting her up to that problem hold, bonus hold, and now having to manoeuvre her way up. It's a tiny foothold, by the way. You get here. In problem one, you can barely see it through the screen. It is a tiny. Rachel Carr is on to the fourth and final problem. This caused some real issues, and she's got a good heel hook on your screens. Aren't quite right. We'll get that sorted as soon as we can. And we are working on any issues that you might find with the stream. Just being pushed on by the crowd and doing well here with two hands on the hold. Is Dara O'Connor. But Dara and Yara at the same time, so good stuff.
Very experienced competitor, former Cwif winner. That was a long. That was when she was good.
Meanwhile, problem 4 for the men.
I'm only joking, bro.
Bonus between the teams.
Oh, Baptiste. Oh, thanks for. We've not seen anyone go down.
Good. Drop 4.
Go on, Baptiste.
Just a match in.
Fantastic effort.
Oh, no, good.
Yes. Oh. Gorgeous running over the spot there. Safety first. Ali, look. Ali. Come on. Ali. Oh. Very funny growling noise there. That's quite scary. So, 2 new competitors. Who've you got?
Ben West.
Ben West.
Ben West.
I've got Darren Merrick.
So again, we apologise if there are a few with your live stream. It is being recorded, so it will be uploaded to the website afterwards for you to watch. Perfectly fine. We apologise for the stream. But we are currently beavering away. So we're going to switch competitors here. The names will change in a couple of moments. And again, we'll get our first look at another female swan, Diane Merrick. Diane Merrick is now up on problem 1. We had Dara and Yara a moment ago on problem there, Emily, and that they both completed near enough at exactly the same time as well.
Brilliant.
Charlotte Garden is up further around the course as well.
Big Joe, next score. Just waiting for the scoreboard to update. It's sliding out of the
Diane's just trying this in another way.
Come on, Westy. Oh no, it's not this set.
3 and 4 o'clock, so it starts at 3. Get yourself online at 3 o'clock on Twitter at Climbing Works. Hashtag Cwif, live Q&A with Jorg Verhoeven, who will be hoping that's as easy.
So you can see Diane didn't do that first move quite right, so the judges asked her to step off and do it again.
Eagle-eyed, those judges.
It's got to be fair. Diane's moving along nicely now that she's off the floor.
Okay, scoreboard is currently up to
Chevrier is on problem 4.
so Baptiste Levesque is currently in the lead.
Remskar on problem 3. And Charlotte Garden attacking that awkward overhanging bonus problem that everybody has come across on 2.
So this is something we see quite often, is climbers wanting to brush the holds exactly how they want to be brushed rather than letting the brusher do their job. Kind of gives you a bit of peace of mind that they've been the way that you wanted.
Bit of time off for the brusher.
Yeah.
So again, the route setters, a combination of sharp edges, round edges, finger hooks, the multi-use of pinching and way around these boulders. Really well set out as always here at Cwif.
Yeah, really diverse. Charlotte stuck that hold now.
Is that something you found yesterday as you were kind of going around in your qualifiers, having to really think about what do I need here, what do I need here?
Yeah, such a variety. See, Ben stuck that last hold now, same way, right foot on SpongeBob, and he reached to the top.
So Jan is through, or York, should I say.
On women's 3. Whoops. No, she's not.
So for Ben, you like Verhoeven?
George Verhoeven. T1 member.
T1 won yesterday.
T1 won yesterday, obviously. The Climbing Works team.
To be fair, they're the same by the Beastmaker team.
There isn't a Beastmaker team.
So Jorg Verhoeven then comes up. Good climb from Ben West.
Yeah, he got it in the end.
Canadian.
Climbed really well yesterday.
That's got herself as Canadian and British.
Alana Yip makes a start on women.
All the way from Canada, I think.
All the way from Canada. As opposed to Jen Wood, who was all the way from Sheffield.
Cwif's the place to be.
Let's hope Alana Yip hasn't climbed all the way here. And again, just sort of hovering her body against the wall altogether. Another different and interesting style. Very light work of problem 1. And again, a little bit later on, he's going to be answering all your questions in a live Twitter Q&A starting at 3 p.m. So do send us your tweets. And again, we apologise if you're experiencing difficulties with the live stream. The entire event is being recorded and will be available on the website a little bit later on. So Alana gets away from the start. And now just has this daunting reach up to the bonus hold.
It's all on that leg.
That's raw power in the right leg, isn't it? The calf and just above the knee, in the thigh.
In a really awkward position.
And again, that tiny foothold to the left is somewhat daunting as well. You get one quick look at it and think, I've got to get my, my toes, my foot wedged onto that as much as I can.
Yeah, whole body weight all on that tiny hold. You've got to really make sure you got some rubber on that.
Charlotte Garden, we saw a few moments ago. So Yara Spate is now on the second, and you can see Yara just hanging on and swinging. And that's one way.
That a few times now, so hopefully she can get this next hold. Oh, so close.
Used her feet well there. She stretched out with her right hand, didn't quite make the hold, but used her left foot to keep herself on the wall. This time not quite. And you can feel the arms start to shake for the competitor because you can only hold on so long.
Yet another way on women's block 1, the floor.
On 4 is Naomi Langenkamp. I don't think we've seen anybody complete 4 yet, and there's no real surprises about that, is there?
No, not really. It seems to be that they're going up in difficulty as they go up the numbers. Yeah, so 4's the toughest after you've done all the other ones to start off with.
Dara is on problem 2. Denmark is on problem 3, and it's Nathan Phillips on 4 for the men. There's Nathan, just as you say, cleaning his own.
Making really good progress on women's block 2 now. Hopefully she'll hit this stuff. There she goes.
Fantastic stuff. So not many have got to the top of 2, but Yara Spate has.
Really well battled there. She had a lot of attempts and she still got to the top. Good mental resolve.
Alana Yip here has got back over out towards the upper left part of this problem. She managed to put both feet on that very small hold, and Alana, just unfortunate, real brave attempt to try and get both feet at one point on that very tiny hold.
Yeah, so we've seen the women who've completed that have fallen onto the last hold, so it's a fallen catch, so she was trying to go with a bit too much control there by the looks of it. Held on to those penultimate holds amazingly though.
So we and Vera Zulsta is up next on problem 1, and that means, according to our David Fernenberg, is up on problem 1. Omets.
Held up that.
Hey, super stuff, and she's up, off, and back sat down again. So 3.5 minutes left. I mean, talk about getting a bonus rest. That's a big one.
Yeah, so she's really she's recouped really well after her first problem. I don't think she made it to the top of number 1. She's got straight back on. Ben on this problem. Don't think we've seen anyone get so far on this one.
It would be great to see if we can get this completed. He's using that right foot to really pushing one of the holds, and look at this. Well,
Brilliant.
We asked for people to pick their favourites and potential winners earlier. That wasn't a name that came through, but he's certainly showing us that he's got the ability here.
Yeah.
Vera Zilstra, who's on one, just struggling a little to get herself away from that very first block. It's literally tiny at the top left-hand corner of it. She's using basically a really doable. We've seen plenty more before you. As I say, each climber has their strengths and weaknesses, and some people will look at different objects and different problems in a different way.
Yeah, well, you've seen people sail up the slab on that overhang, and then the opposite way around. Just depends how you get on.
Great to see Ben West a moment ago conquer problem 2. That really has shown that it is doable. Samuel Omets on problem 4 with a minute and a half left, and he's just sort of shrugging the shoulders and trying to loosen himself up again for another crack at it. Bottom right hand side of your screen, whilst he's Ida Remska is on problem 4 and has got a heel on it. Now again needs to work around what we've called the clock.
I don't think we've seen anybody make any more progress than either of these have to on the final block, or on 3.
Charlotte Gardner and Zilstra has figured out how to get away from the opening block and has left herself just about 40 seconds to complete.
Yeah, she took her time.
A bit more chalk going on. She's up to the bonus hold. Again, she's using her left thumb on that very small hole. On the screen, you can't really see it.
No.
Scuffs and scratches on the boards. You can't actually see the hole, but it is there. That's what her left toe is on now. Well, she made a slow start to this, Vera Zilstra, but she might be making a very quick finish to this.
Yeah.
Well.
Real determination. Once she was on that, she didn't want to do the start again.
Well, they must be eating at the
from the start, just because it's on there.
Should have Natalie Barchi going next. And Sylvain Rocher going on problem 1. The running order has been slightly adapted to what we've got up here, so we're going from a little bit of previous knowledge. Alana Yip is back now on problem 2 as Barchi is looking to make light work of problem 1 here, Emily, in the top left hand corner.
First attempt.
That's one of the quickest we've seen, isn't it, on that problem?
Yeah, absolutely. She's got a good long rest before the next one now.
Yeah, very happy with herself. Around about 3 minutes and 20 seconds somewhat left of that climb, and hardly broke a sweat. Looks very glamorous. There's Natalie Barchi. She'll get that extra bit of a rest, and Jan Verhonen he'll know that Ben West has completed problem 2, and he's making a pretty good stab of it himself. This is the bit where we see people fail, and Jan is not indestructible, it appears. Yara Spank is on problem 3, and on 4 is Maud Ansade. And again, just gets to that underside part, just where the Adidas sign is, and it just becomes a little bit too much of an incline.
Looks really tough.
And, let's go back to a different route section there. Again, somebody trying to get their heel on the back part of that sponge. Doesn't quite come off. As you said there first, Emily, you've got to put your foot just literally above SpongeBob's eyes on that front pillar and go from there, haven't you?
Yeah, it seems to be the way that people are doing it within their a few extra attempts. It doesn't seem to come naturally to put the right toe there. It comes after a bit of thinking.
Tyro. So we should have next.
Women's block 4 really well. She's making a lot of progress. Come on. Making her way onto the Adidas block.
Alana Yip with a very big leap of faith here and just taking the time out to get some extra chalk on the fingers whilst dangling upside down. Roche and Yip are just about level on their respective problems. You can see Yip here, the Canadian, and yeah, great effort on problem 4, the best we've seen so far. But it looks like Yip might just have the ability on problem 2. Spoke too soon.
So the way we've seen women's block 2 done before is keeping the feet lower and just going out really powerfully to that next volume. But it seems to be they want to get their feet up to start off with and then fall off.
Who's got next one, is it? For the women, yeah?
For the women, we have Cwif Semi-Finals. She's from France. She hasn't got that question there, so I don't know anything about it.
Germany.
But she's between the ages of 10 and 14.
So one of the people, Emily, that was mentioned quite a lot before when we asked people to give us their tweets with names for who might win this, Alex Magos was one of those, and here he is very quickly manoeuvring up problem 1.
Yeah,
the SpongeBob volume has got its foot on it.
Yeah.
And that is a real example of his ability, isn't it?
Absolutely. I saw him climbing yesterday in the qualifiers and just wonderful to watch. Really brilliant technique. Technique masterclass. And so young.
Well, Magos, not just a name for today, but one certainly going forward in this sport. And, so whilst he has made light work, we've got Clementine Kaiser going on, which means that Vera Zilster, who we saw have a nightmare start on problem 1 and then manage it with a second left. She's now on problem 2. What will she make? She's done that as well. The pony Charlotte Garden's last visit to our problems, and again where now strength and balance is the main factor. And look at that, getting the heel in, but missed it the first attempt. You felt that was never quite going to go.
Yeah, it uses so much power, those upside down moves, and it just ran.
Clementine Kaiser, same as Natalie Bacci, doing it pretty quickly. So Magos made light work of 1. On 2 is Fernenberg. Ben West is on problem 3.
So we haven't seen any of the women get any further than that on block 3. Looks pretty steep.
Yeah, Merrick as far as anybody else has. And again, just that awkward spike coming out of the wall. You've got to try and manoeuvre yourself around it, and it's choosing where to hold your body that's proving the difficult part. Charlotte Gardner's come down again on 4. He's got just under a minute and a half. And there was what Emily was talking about a little bit earlier. You can see Alana Yip just top left-hand square of the screen as you look at it. Bottom right of that, you can see her just sat focusing. What's going through your mind here? Were you literally just kind of switching off and trying to recover?
Probably just trying to recoup, just kind of keep a clear head and get yourself prepared for the next one.
a minute left here for those that have a problem left in front of them, and Ben West is one of those. He's on problem 3, bottom left of your screen, right down the middle, and he's got his hand inside that big grey sphere that's sticking out. And he's got his hand onto the one that's been proving a problem, and now he can get his right foot inside that little hole. Just unable to wrap his arm right that black volume.
Made some good progress on it.
Plenty of cleaning going off in the background, but David Fernenberg on problem 2, just trying to figure out where to put his feet. And sometimes is it that delay in thought process that obviously you're holding on with your hands and you go one way with your feet and think, no, I need to go the other way. That's going to cost you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So these holds are so small, and they'll be designed, the routes are designed so you've got to hold on to them probably in one particular way. So if you're going to try and pivot round or move your body too much, then it'll just spit you off. Especially with this second men's 2 on that steep ground and moving around so much, going from one direction to the other. Got to get it right.
Well, Ewan McFadden, he's up next on problem 1 for the men. And of course, that means we've got a brand new contestant on problem 1 for the women. This is Katrien van de Saling. Saling, and again, just slightly different to some of the others. Both hands are on.
Seems to be the most popular way to start this block.
And I'm just going to say that one foot wasn't on, and Saling didn't like that. Was annoyed there.
Yeah, judge stepping in again to say, sorry, not allowed.
So Saling, no plain sailing just yet. And again, you can just see her in the bottom left, and now she's thinking, well, how have the rest of them done this? Well, it's been done. We can tell you that, Katrien. We've sat through a fair few already, and she may have to attack this completely different. In fact, she's kind of talking herself out of it here, Emily. She's having a bit of a chat with the official.
Yeah, she just wanted to check that they were happy with that foot having been on before she moved up and wasted any more energy.
She put the left foot at the bottom, so I suppose as long as anything is touching any part of that bit that's sticking out, her left foot was touching the bottom, and that was the best way she could go about it, to get herself as flat against the block as possible.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be weighted, just needs to be touching.
So Natalie Barchi, who didn't break a sweat on problem 1, is now on to problem 2, and she's already had one look at it. And again, it's another one of those where you have to start with all 4 on, and there she is. It's a bit easier to get all 4 onto that, the size of that volume that sticks out, sort of a downward angle, and there's the core strength. That right hand has to come up and backwards, and the speed, as we've gone through this list of some of the guys climbing and some of the girls climbing, it's just electrifying, isn't it? It's quite scary that Barchi is making this look very, very easy as she takes the tumble.
So again, she put that heel on, and that seems to take away all the energy for that next move. She's worked out how to do it now. She needs to go up straight.
Well, Saling might have had a slight grumble at the start, but no issues towards the end, and Katrien van de Saling sails through. Happy indeed. And trying to do problem 1. Ewan hasn't mastered the SpongeBob problem just yet. Again, just sort of wrapping that left leg around the starting block. He's gone for the leap, and as you were saying, it's just, you've got to get that other well,
yeah.
And if you don't quite push off from the volume strong enough,
and it seems to be keeping that right foot on is key.
Barchi takes another thunderous whack to the mat on the way down. Be thankful of mats.
Yeah, bouldering wouldn't be the same without them.
Still a dangerous sport, though. I mean, obviously the provision of mats is there, but you can still land awkwardly. So it's a lot about the respect of the competitor to the sport as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and learning how to fall safely as well.
Of course, if you are interested in getting involved in climbing and learning to fall as well as climb properly, then places like the Climbing Works is where you need to go. Wonderful venue here in Sheffield. Great provisions for old and young, new starters and the veterans. And Barchi here trying to show us her quality. She's getting up to that right arm long reach again, and while she hasn't completed this one, she's getting further quicker than some of those first few competitors, isn't she? That overhanging one doesn't seem to be causing her a problem. It's that next stage.
Yeah. Sadly, that's not going to give her any extra points.
Yeah. 14 seconds left. Be interesting to see if Barchi has one more go. In fact, no. Up goes the bag of chalk and just waves her arm at the official and says no thank you. And well, Ewan looking disappointed with his efforts on one. He's up next for the men. Alex Migos returns to the wall and we'll take a look at problem 2. David Fernenberg and Ben West are the other 2 competitors back up for the men, and West will well, he had the crowd cheering on 1. He very nearly got the better of 3. How will he fare on 4, where so many, if not all, have failed so far?
Yeah, it'd be good to see.
Up for the women is Tara Hayes.
So she's being really careful not to lift that fourth foot off the floor. Not fourth foot, fourth appendage off the floor.
How many feet you got? Interesting. That would help in climbing.
It would. So every attempt where your foot comes off the floor counts. So she's trying to make sure she doesn't take it off before she
So Hayes on 1. Kaiser is progressing very swiftly and very easily. And again, a different technique here. She's using the heel, leg horizontal to her hip, and then has just pushed herself up. And this, from Kaiser, is pretty magic.
Wonderful flexibility and strength.
Well, that is something to look out for. Clementine Kaiser has just whooped problem 2's backside and made that look very, very comfortable. And this awkward first block is catching a few out. We saw Catherine Sailing have an issue with it. Tara Hayes doesn't seem to be coping much better. Wonderfully laid out by Percy Bishnan, the main route setter here. Just so interesting in a sport where one problem, the very first thing you have to do, has been treated today either very easily by some or like it's the most difficult thing they've ever come across.
Yeah, so depending on their physical strengths or weaknesses, and also what they've practiced in training, will make a big difference.
Well, bottom left of your screen, bit of magic there from Vera Zilster. Now first up, problem 4 for the women. West again, not the first and won't be the last to struggle on 4. Hayes just having a moment. Finally got away from that awkward first volume.
Yeah, so the penultimate holds were where she got to last time, so she's about to get there again. Hopefully she can just stick on to them. That's it.
So Magos completes his second and he's looking in good shape. Hayes comes down from problem 1. Slow start, but once she got the hang of it, she was happy.
Yeah, so the holds on the slabs can be so hit and miss. If you snatch for them too quickly, they will spit you off.
So 20 climbers in the women's section today. 23 in the men's. It was opened up to 23, and we saw 3 go off at the beginning, and then we got into our normal routine of 1 woman, 1 man, and we've moved along ever since. There you can see the crowd are all captivated, and there's loads to look at, isn't there? Because you've got 4 climbers all going at once in the men's, you've got 4 climbers all going at once in the women's. There's just so much to try and take in.
Yeah, I guess pick the one who you're rooting for and watch them.
Tough fall on problem 3.
Everyone seems to be getting spat off at the same place on men's 4.
Remember, don't forget to follow Climbing Works as it's read out, and you can send us your tweets, #CWIFQuif. And well, a lot of people have been looking forward to this. Coming up, Tito is up. Carrieron, the well-known climber on the circuit, and Tito Carrieron looking to show us how it's all done. The winner of last year, he flashed all 4 problems, which would be great to see here, because we haven't seen anybody completely master the opening 2 or 3.
I think Alex did a pretty good job of 1 and 2 so far. I didn't see his second block the whole way through. Looks in control at the top.
Ewan McFadden is up. So too Sylvain Rocher, and Jorg Verhoeven is taking on 4. So it's been interesting to see a bit of class going off on top left and bottom right here. We've got Tito on 1 and Jorg Verhoeven, who's on problem 4. It'd be nice to see somebody master this 4.
Would.
Calderon, well, if you blinked, you've just about missed this. Look at that. Super stuff.
Katrine van Sane, Denmark, is on women's 2.
Ewan,
Good paddle.
on the torrid side.
Natalie Barshi on women's 3.
So on 1 here for the ladies, Emma Twyford.
Sylvain Roche is on men's 3. Jorg Verhoeven is on men's 4.
Emma's moving nice and cautiously on problem 1. She's not wanting to drop that attempt.
Katrin Salling is on 2 and just losing the grip with her fingers there. She decided to try and go with both hands on that overhanging bonus grip. Didn't quite pay off in the end.
No, it seems to be you need to get the left hand up onto the higher bit of the volume and then just keep the feet low and go up to the next one.
Are you sat here thinking, just wish I'd got through to have a crack at these?
I'd like to have a crack, but maybe not under this competition.
Was it interesting from your perspective to be at a competition of this sort of size, of this sort of merit, knowing there were some great stars? Was it different for you mentally to try and prepare for this?
Well, I don't think I prepared that well for this competition, to be honest. I was away on
There's
holiday
lesson
for
one.
a week. Yeah, but we were coming for the weekend, the experience, and the bonus of playing with you guys today, so it was good.
Playing at commentator. I've been accused of that. Yeah, definitely been accused of that. We apologise, by the way, for those of you that are watching the stream. You are having difficulties. It is something that's out of our control, unfortunately. We're going to try and rectify it with a different way round during the break between semi-finals and final. Hopefully when you tune back in, and please do tune back in at 6 p.m. tonight to watch the final, hopefully we will have rectified any issues. For those of you wondering whether it's because we've got 4 screens instead of 1, it's not. It's something to do with the stream itself. We apologise, it's out of our control, and we are doing our very best behind the scenes, a bit like Emma Twyford was there, trying to reach up and grab hold with a few seconds remaining. I think she's going to call problem 1 a day. Do join us at 6 o'clock. Do keep sending us your tweets. We do know there is an issue with the stream, and myself and Emily, well, it's nothing to do with us. We can't do anything about it. We've got a tough enough job with 8 people all trying to climb 4 different walls at one go. So, but other than that, we do apologise, and we hope that you continue to watch as best you can, but do again be assured we are trying our very level best to try and rectify the issue come the final. Okay, so we're by my books, we're down to the final 3 coming up now for both men and women. This is Leah Crane. Great name for somebody who needs a lot of reach.
Yeah, Leah was climbing really well yesterday, as usual.
And Crane is, as we've seen with some of the last few competitors, making light work, just getting to that very tiny toe hold. Almost feel like stretching for them at that point, but well, you can't see Leah Crane having an issue with this last part. One stretch, another stretch, and a very, very competent and happy Leah Crane.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Nicely done indeed, and well, she will take full advantage of that 3 minutes 40 extra rest. Flashed up the wall.
Good progress being made on women's block 4 at the moment. We haven't seen anyone get this high or finish it, as she has.
Well, Vera Zylstra completes 4 as Diane Merrick did. So top start.
And block 3 just being completed for the first time as well. Sailing through these problems.
That was Clementine Kaiser, who we saw on 1 as well, just whip straight up and deal with it, no problems. We make this Roland's Rudgens, who's already been and gone as Roland's. Peter Bunch is up on Alex Megos on 3. You can just see him, his little head poking out on the bottom of the left-hand side. There he is, walking up towards the problem once again. And David Fernenberg has the unenviable problem 4 to try and navigate round, and Megos has just taken a hefty fall, was swinging backwards and first down to the mat.
Rejected.
That's a hefty rejection. So you can see the top left-hand corner of your screen here, just kind of shows you the beehive of activity that is bouldering. Packed out on the right-hand side of the arena, big screen, everybody, what's going on?
So we've just seen women way with the heel hook to get to that volume. Trying to get up.
Just Tara Hayes.
See if she can make this work for her.
And again, another one trying to get the foot into the hold and then pretty much put their leg level with their hip and then start to move up that way. And that's going to take some real power and flexibility, I'd imagine, as well. Now, you were telling me a little bit ago you used to be a gymnast, so of course flexibility in this respect from that sport is a great starting point.
In climbing so important, being able to open your hips and do moves just as we've just seen. Yeah, invaluable really.
So alongside myself, Alan Marsh, it's Emily Garrett-Cox, who competed here in the qualifiers yesterday. Amateur climber competing with some of these pros, and again, it's one of those wonderful things where this competition allows amateurs and pros to compete against each others and throws up a few surprises. Not a couple of falls around about the same time there in the men's event.
Exactly.
Fernenberg, yep, exactly the same time as Peter Bunch. So our penultimate from each category then, Ned Feely. Harley, as the announcer has just called him. Apologies, Percy Biston. Ned Harley comes up to problem 1. It should be. We have Chloe Collier on problem 1 for the women.
Ned's made easy work of that one, using the right heel hook really well.
Lightningly quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sophie Harley is safely down with I made it less than 50 seconds on the clock. That's got to be one of the quickest we've seen there. Collier is on problem 1. Twyford is on problem 2. Landet Saling on problem 3, and that means Natalie Barchi, who I think out of memory, I think was probably the quickest up problem 1. I'm sure somebody will tell me different a little bit later, but Barchi certainly made mean work of. She's now on 4, and that has been a real killer for most. Conquered a couple of times just towards the back end of this list, so Barchi will fancy it. Going well on problem 2 for the men was Tito Callejon, as you would expect, and he gets a big round of applause from this very knowledgeable and respectful crowd, and Callejon moves on steadily. Let's go back to problem 4 for the women then. Barchi just hits the deck.
A lot of them seem to be being spat off at that particular point. A huge amount of body tension required to hang on and get to that next hold.
Chloe Collier, no problem. She's down in half the time needed. Back on goes the jacket. So Twyford on 2. Just asked for a bit of cleaning here, bit of cleaning there, and we'll have another crack as she comes back up to the wall. 3 women still out there. Saling on problem 3 and Barchi on 4. You can see those in the bottom 2 images on your screen. On the right hand side, just where the clock is, to the left of that, you can see Natalie Barchi having an attack at problem 4 once again. And that real nigh on upside down feeling is really caught some of them out, hasn't it?
Yeah. Pretty tough problem.
Katrin van der Saling is having a very long look at problem 3. Very long. She's down to a minute and a half, and she must have been looking at this wall for a good 15-20 seconds now. Barchi has had a couple of attacks at 4 in the time that Saling has just been looking.
It's a real fine line between making sure you've got enough energy to do the route full stop and then getting on it enough to be able to do it. Emma's doing a great job on this one.
Yeah, Twyford is just what you feel maybe 2 more manoeuvres away. Just needs that left foot to get a little bit higher, doesn't she, to get more purchase.
Yeah, that's the one.
That was the one. Waves to the crowd, bangs the wall.
Fought really well on that penultimate hold.
Yeah, there was a time there where she couldn't quite get that foot just where she needed that left foot.
So that's what we were talking about with body tension before. The core will have really helped her hang on.
So let's turn our attention back to the men then. So Tito has completed 2. Fihali completed 1. Sylvain Rocher is on the 4th, and with Ewan McFadden on number 3, and he's just come off as Ewan. 10 seconds left, and we'll be moving on to our final competitors then. So Dave Barron's qualified in first position, gets to go last, and a lady that needs no introduction in the climbing world, Shauna Coxey.
So they're both having a good look at them, just making sure they don't miss anything before they get on.
Double defending champion is Coxey, looking for that hat trick. Some very strong performances here in this semi-final in the women's section that will put that double reigning champion under threat.
So she's really got the confidence to make sure she gets that right first time.
Yeah, that first one for the ladies is just about not coming off, isn't it? And from there, she needs to reach right across. And, well, just take a look at the top left-hand corner of your screen here at the moment. And Dave Barron's, well, it took him just over a minute, but he didn't get on the board straight away. As you said, he looked at his problem. He looked at the big objects in front of him, measured his route, and got up there and did the job.
Yeah, so it's so important in competitions because you're not seeing anybody else do it before. You've got to have the knowledge and experience to do it successfully first time.
So Shauna Coxey, just a couple of manoeuvres to her left for her. Again, just using that very small foothold, and she's got a wonderful reach, hasn't she?
Yeah, just gliding up that route. She didn't even need to reach across and grab onto that last one, she just balanced over.
Yeah, with the majority of people take a leap, the leap of faith across to get 2 hands on and hang on, she's just got out and just touched it and just put enough on for the officials to be happy. Wonderful stuff from Shauna Coxey. Rowan Rugens is on problem 2. Peter Bunch is on problem 3. Alex Migos is on problem 4. So again, we've been looking forward to watching Alex. And Peter Bunch is just lying on the mat currently, looking up at his problem, just letting them all wash away, I suppose.
Yeah, as we were talking about before, every competitor has their own way of approaching competitions.
The lie down approach is that one.
Laid back.
That's pretty much as laid back as you can get. There's nothing else under the mat. So Bunch taking that one on. So Rugens has finished his. Barons has finished his. Magos tackling that very awkward fourth.
No one's got past that point on 4 yet.
There's only been a couple of completions on the ladies' 4.
I think maybe only 1.
I think 2. Thought I heard 2 sets of applause. In fact, back to back. It's Clementine Kaiser who should be on for the ladies.
She's completed every block so far and made it look pretty easy.
Tara Hayes is still looking at hers, so we've Leah Crane has mastered number 2 for the women as well. It's really starting to whip through here. Less than a minute left for these 4.
missed Leah on 2. She did that quickly.
Well, Leah was exceptionally quick, as was Roland Rugen, so those two have whipped through their second problems. And Peter's taking another lie-down approach to this. He's got about 35 seconds remaining. And he's back to his feet. Will he have another go? Not sure he's going to, you know. Less than 30 seconds. Nope. Peter Bunch has decided that's it for him.
To attempt that. And she decided the heel hook was for her.
That's one of the simplest ways we've seen that done, isn't it?
Yeah, lots attempted it that way, but it looked like her hip flexibility really allowed her to push over and gain that hold.
Interesting how she took for the back of her foot and just rolled into the toes into the same hold without sort of moving, just rolled the foot into the toes and then pushed upwards. Really great to see the flexibility in the ankle there.
Yeah, she really opened her hip and rolled into it, getting her body close to the wall.
So Twyford on problem 3, Sarling on problem 4 for the ladies in the men's event here then. So Fihali is on problem number 2. 3 is Tito Calderon, and even the great Tito Calderon is having an issue with 3.
We haven't seen anyone complete it yet, have we?
No. And Ewan McFadden has had a few issues here with 4 already, and a couple of cracks in it. Nice to see how Calderon gets on here with 3. Reigning champion, having had no issues with all 4 in his final last year. First attempt for all of them, flashing the problem. Interesting to see whether Percy Bishton has set the routes a little bit more difficult with him in mind, maybe.
Yeah.
With Sean. So as far as I can see, no completions just yet. Other than Chloe Collier, so the rest of them are still out there. We've got a minute left. As we said, Collier just made it look so simple on problem 2.
Yeah.
Twyford on 3. Sarling on 4. You can see them at the moment. Sarling having another go at 4, and that upside down movement across the bottom of the big white volume that sticks out has proved the issue to nearly every single one of our competitors.
And again.
And once more, commentators curse that. You'll get the hang of it. Fihali not quite mustering enough to master this second problem. And Sarling is not giving up. She's having one more crack at this. She's on the wall, so too is McFadden, who's off, and Sarling comes off as well. So bit of a struggle through that section. So Shauna Coxey gets her look at problem 2, and Dave Barons moves on to problem 2 himself. Roland Rugens was as quick up problem 2 as he was 1, so he's having a decent start, and he's taking a look at problem 3. Bottom left hand corner of your screen there, Emily. Nice to see how someone gets up problem 3.
3 or 4?
Alex Migos has been and gone. Ewan McFadden been and gone recently. Peter Bunch now on problem 4.
Moving well on 3. Oh.
Well, nice and easy for our reigning champion. Shauna Coxey on 2. Up and down, as to be expected,
Yeah.
perhaps.
You never know though. It's all to play for.
Oh, you're getting the hang of this now. Got any more phrases you want to throw out there in the commentary world?
Not off the top of my head.
Can change in a blink of an eye. That's a good one for you later. No, at the moment, 2 problems down and no real problem for Shauna Coxey. Barons, on the other hand, is having a look at problem 2. Shouts have gone on Leah, who's on problem 3 for the women. Tara Hayes has took a step back from 4, and as with so many before, having a real think about it. Bit of a tough toll for Dave Barons there, top left of your screen.
Yeah, on those overhanging problems, so important to make sure you have a decent rest between attempts as well, because otherwise it's just not possible to carry on.
Well, we saw Peter Bunch have a few lay-down approaches to problem 3. He's attacking problem 4 in a different manner. He's going straight back it in. Unlucky there for Roland Ruzens. So I'm being told in my ear that we've sorted out the streaming problem. So looking forward to tonight. But the rest of this session, there should be no more problems. So do keep your tweets coming in. Apologies a little bit earlier on. And you can still follow via the Twitter feed as well. So at Climbing Works, hashtag CWIF. And well, Dave Barons, he led the qualifying into this round, just having a bit of a dilemma with problem 2.
Yeah, this move looks really tricky.
Just saw Leah Crane just slamming her own head and just saying come on to herself, giving herself a little bit of a G up on problem 3.
She probably knows how to do it, and she's just trying to get that energy to give it one more really good attempt.
Well, Barons has got some 50 seconds left, and the hands on the hip and the sticking out of the bottom lip suggest that he's not quite sure how you get up this. And he's certainly out of breath. He's a well-built fella. He's in pretty good shape, you'd have to say. But as you said a little bit earlier, sometimes mentally it will help you get up this wall, not just physically.
Yeah, sometimes if the route's not quite right for your proportions as well, maybe it's just not. Sometimes it's just not your route.
Excellent effort on number 3 from Ruzens. Just saw that in the bottom left corner of your screen, and one more crack at this for Peter Bunch. You'd have fancy. He's got a few seconds. In fact, he's not having another go at that one, and in fact all of the competitors, with the clock dying down, said no thank you, that's enough. At Kyle Rance is looking forward to watching the finals for the CWIF. We're looking forward to the finals as well. So Ned Fihali and Tito Callier are the last 2 remaining men in the list. Tito taking on 4, and again, an interesting to watch somebody of his standard and calibre try and take on this tricky 4th. I know Emily's been kind of signalling out this 4th one for the men as the tricky one, and you're just interested to see how they get past this blue object that's in their way at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what was supposed to be done about it. Maybe he'll show us.
Be interesting to go and take a look at this after we finished on commentary and kind of get you to look at that from your perspective as a climber and think, how would I take that on from down there, the view that these guys have got themselves. Sometimes, as we said, the angles of the cameras don't quite give them the justice. I don't think it gives the justice to this white block coming out of the middle here, the Adidas one that we've nicknamed the clock, if you like. That really is quite difficult to comprehend through that camera angle, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the roof is steep to start off with, and then adding that extra volume just makes it even more so.
So Vihale and Calderon on 3 and 4. Collier and Twyford on 3 and 4 respectively in this women's section. And Collier, we've seen her absolutely breeze through 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Different sort of tactics to a few of the others though, sort of stands and looks a little bit longer at it. Really takes her time, contemplates what's going through her head.
You've seen so many people fall off the women's 3 at exactly that point. I think only Kaiser's completed it.
Calderon.
I didn't see her specifically on that bit.
Calderon just having another look at not what the first part of his problem is, the second part. He's taking a look at that differently. Tough fall a moment ago for Vihale.
So I think the route setters wanted them to wrap the right hand all the way around, get a grip of it, and then bring the left hand around underneath, and then kind of shimmy up somehow.
I love the bit that you said, somehow, because we haven't figured it out yet, neither of any of these. So Calderon, do your best. And yeah, just that awkward right angle that he's got to try and get round. And then, as you say, the blue volume just kind of sticking out. He's trying to go underneath it here.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what you meant. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah.
He comes off. Vihale, as you can see, bottom left, level with Chloe Collier. Those two tackling number 3, and Collier might just have the better of it here. Going straight over the top here is Chloe.
Keeping that in control when you've got your foot that high, and then trying to hold on to the next hold, which is very poor.
Interesting to see Twyford there, just holding her left bicep sort of towards the shoulder, bottom of your screen. You can just see her bending over now. She may go back at this, but she came off holding the back of her arm, and I'm just wondering if she might do more damage having another go at this.
I think that problem 3, where you have to go out behind you with that left hand, that looked really strenuous on the shoulder, and then being upside down hanging off one arm here is not going to help if she's got any resident shoulder injuries.
Well, it's right here, right now, that she needs that left arm to reach up, and she's managed it. And maybe, just maybe, Emma Twyford can show us a way around the clock. Big shout to go on Emma coming in here. She's got 18 seconds. Calderon has not given up on 4 either. And Emma Twyford takes the tumble. And Calderon is the only one left with 8 seconds. And he can't manage it. So the reigning champion, Percy Biston, the route setter here. Well, he's winning.
It'll be down to attempts now on the first few problems.
We'll attempt to ourselves to bring you the score board at the end of this round. So Shauna Coxey then on 3. So Coxey and Leah Crane on 3 and 4 now. So again then, Emily, we've had Shauna Coxey, problem 1, no real problem. Problem 2, no real issue. Nice to see how quick, if she can do it, she does this in.
Yeah, so this problem 3's presented a lot of problems, so it will be good to see how she tackles it.
Barons and Roland Rugens attacking 3 and 4 respectively, and going well here. Shauna Coxey got Leah Crane on 4. You can just see the top of Leah Crane, and she's got over the clock face, Leah Crane here. And there you go, that is how you do number 4 in the women's section, and that's why you can hear a very big round of applause inside this arena at Climbing World, and Coxey and Crane with a high five, both of them completing those problems just about at the same time. We might have a real competition on our hands come the final.
Yeah. So it'll be, if they've all completed all 4 problems, it'll be down to attempts on how many times it took them to do each one.
Well, I don't think I saw Leah Crane or Shauna Coxey come down there. So on those 3 and 4 respectively there, they were in 1 attempt. It'd be nice if we can just get the men's problem 4 cracked here.
It would be good to see it done. So Leah didn't complete the problem 3, but she did really well on 4 and all the other ones.
So the 2 women are off the screen because they've done their job with 2.5, nearly 3 minutes to spare to give them some breathing time. Barons and Roland Rugens attacking 3 and 4. You can see Barons on top left screen, left hand side. You can see him on the bottom left screen coming off there, and he's at the forefront of your image in the top right. Rugens is the only person on camera in the bottom right hand side, and he's just going to have another look at it. We saw Calderon a moment ago trying to go underneath and work his way around, and you feel that's how you might have looked at that one?
Yeah, well, it'll be anybody's game, I guess, but it just looks so hard to hold on to that one. But maybe the furthest we've seen someone get is by matching that with their elbows either side of the volume and then going up. But yeah, tricky business.
Tricky business indeed. I think that just about sums up bouldering. That was well done.
Yeah.
The pros sometimes make very light work of it. Again, depends on the route setter's ideas, and he's put certainly some decent stumbling blocks in here. Don't forget, keep sending us your tweets. We know we had some issues with the live stream a little bit earlier on. We sorted those out for you. Hashtag CWIF. Just a couple more to go in this semi-final action. We'll start to see the finals take shape.
So the point where the 2 men are both getting to on their respective problems seems to be the crux of both of the routes. It's problem 3 really powerful.
Just off your camera shots, just taking a look down from our gantry. We're quite high up here, and I've just seen Tito Calderon putting his coat on. I've just thought to myself, I wonder how do you recognise a climber, because all of their clothes are covered in chalk. I've just seen him put his coat on, which is meant to be a black coat. It's definitely grey.
Yeah, if it's a down jacket with some chalk on, you're probably a climber.
So we're into our final chance to see these 2 guys. This is Ned Fihali and Chloe Collier. Keep your tweets coming. Hashtag CWIF. Remember, the final starts at 6 p.m. tonight. What else have you got to do? Nothing is the answer, by the way. Nothing else to do than get yourself settled in front of a screen and watch this fantastic competition come to a climax. And can Ned Fiali here, we've only got Dave Barons left to have a go at this. We've seen Tito Calderon struggle, Roland Rugens has struggled, and now we're seeing Ned Fiali as well come a cropper here on 4.
Just that look of exasperation when they all come off at that same point. So how am I supposed to do this?
Collier is going around the side of this clock, and we've seen people go over the top of it. That seems to work.
Crossing over nicely into that one.
Saw Crane a moment ago right over the face of this, and that's exactly where Collier is going to go as well. Needs a firm foothold on that left-hand side with the problem holds. He's got it. And now this will be a real work of strength from the right leg. If she can help herself with the left, she will. And, well, the announcer here shouts easy. I'm not sure Collier will completely agree with the word easy, but she's got there where so many have failed.
Yeah, brilliant use of all those heel hooks and footwork. Such strength in the fingers to just be able to casually hold on and chalk up before their next move.
Just sort of pinch this and crack on a bit, you know. It's well, some of them make it look ridiculously easy, don't they?
They do. Lots of practice, lots of hard work gone into that, making it look easy.
Look at the strength here in the arms of Ned Fihali. Huge arms. And here goes the shirt. Well, I'm not sure whether he's cleaning it or beating it at this present time. I'll go with the former, but
if it makes him feel better.
Shirt off climb, a bit of a bonus for those that like that. Back on it goes. So the only way you're going to really show it who's boss, Ned, is by getting to the top end of it. And again, an interesting one for the guys there. Great big muscly hands. They've got to try and get a grip onto one little tiny hold. You see those orange stickers, we talked about it with Emily a little bit earlier on. You've got to have a limb touching it, foot or hand somewhere where those orange stickers are, and the red one indicates the bonus hold. And again, just to where the right foot is for Ned, that's another tiny hold, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was trying to crimp a bolt hole then to get a little bit of anything off that volume.
And more interesting, I suppose, Emily, is that what happens when they finally get past this volume? We haven't seen it.
We haven't.
It'd be interesting to see what happens with the volume at the top as well, because nobody's got as far as tackling that, as far as I'm aware. This first part of problem 4 has caused all the havoc. And all the attention here on Fihali as the last on the mats at the moment. We'll have Dave Barron's attacking this in a moment. I'm not sure if Fihali will go once more. He is. So he's up.
The thing now is his main aim will just be to get that bonus hold if he gets any further, because he hasn't got time to finish the route within the 5 minutes.
And again, just shouts at himself as he comes down. Barons and Coxey are coming up in just a few moments' time. And that's your lot for Ned Fihali. He gets a round of applause from this Sheffield crowd, as you see onto the bottom of your screen coming in here. Coxey and Barons. So our final chance then in the semi-finals. The stream will finish shortly after these two have finished, whether successful or not. We'll let you know in a moment. And again, just that difference between Shauna Coxey and some of the others, having a real long look at this, not just getting on it, wants to figure out the whole thing and then attack it.
Yeah, so she's done enough competitions to know that it doesn't matter how much time it takes her, it's just the amount of attempts. So she's got to really have a good look, plan her route, make sure she gets it in that first attempt if she can.
Pete on Twitter says, "Flash it, Shauna. Let's make it 4 in a row." Well, yeah, exactly, and that's what we're kind of discussing here. That Shauna takes that little bit longer to get on because time's irrelevant here. It's whether you get there and how many attempts it takes you. And I think she's mastered that over her prestigious career in climbing already. And again, she took a while. It took over a minute to even get onto this problem.
Yeah, I mean, so 4 minutes is plenty to get to the top of a bouldering problem. So taking that extra minute to figure out what she's going to be doing is vital.
The strength there from Shauna, just a swing in the wind a moment while she just adjusts her body into the right position. And again, going the same way as we've just seen the final few competitors, Collier and Crane both did that, underneath slightly and then straight over the top. We saw a few earlier on trying to go right round towards the left-hand side. And, well, Shauna Coxey,
so easy.
Take a bow.
Yeah. Such control.
So what can Dave Barons do? And this has been a real problem for not just him, not just the last couple, but for every single male competitor. And Barons, slightly different to Cal Euron. Can he get to that bonus?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh, he might just be in for something sensational here. He's got to find some real strength to lift his body up with his arms and get his feet to that block. There we go, bit of a heel.
That's the one. Come on.
And now a real stretch with that
Come
left
on.
arm. Look at that. Everybody in the building trying to inch Dave Barron's arm towards that hold on the left-hand side of the white volume sticking out there.
So fantastic to see somebody actually getting past that blue volume.
And to get to that bonus hold might be a massive factor in this competition as well for him.
Yeah. Every point counts.
So Shauna Coxey, amazing in her run through the 4 problems. Not been so dominant in the men's section. I think Coxey has really shown her quality in the women's. I think the men's is wide open here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really going to be down to those nitty-gritty points. It doesn't seem to be anybody who's a clear winner going through to the finals. I think it's going to be close.
Would be great to finish this initial semi-final coverage with a completion of problem 4 for the men. It really would be fantastic. And again, there's not a lot there on even on that. Well, compared to some of the others, looks quite simple, but there's really not a lot. It's a rounded edge as well.
You can see how much rubber's on that.
Just pinching the edge of that volume. You almost end up with flat fingers covered in chalk and gripping onto things. He hasn't beaten the blue volume with his vest top like Ned Fihali a little bit earlier, but he has got round to the bonus hole. Keep your tweets coming, hashtag CWIF. Set your diary, your alarm clock for later. 6 o'clock the final, and I tell you what, you can't give Dave Barons any discredit. He fancied it once more. He's going to take the round of applause. He got further round than we think anybody else do here.
Yeah, no one else got to that bonus hold on that route.
Well, excellent stuff from Dave Barons.
Alex Megos, Thomas Kellyron, Roland Rubens, and Dave Barons. I think.
Our announcer here reading out who he feels has got to the final. We'll try and bring you the official result in a couple of moments if we can. Well, Emily, welcome to the world of commentating, and I thought you did a very good job. Thank you very much for joining me here in this stream. Thank you very much to everybody out there for joining us as well. The semi-finals, we had some issues with the stream. It was completely out of our control, and we apologise about that. We're hoping that it's completely rectified, and looking at your screens now, you should be thinking, what's it all about? There's no problem whatsoever. well, we've sorted it, we've dealt with it, and come the finals, it'll be absolutely perfect. So the final, remember, from 6 p.m. Just hanging on for a couple of moments. We're hoping that we're going to find the scores. We're being told that unfortunately due to a glitch, we're not going to be able to bring you on the live stream the scores. You do get yourself on the website. All the information you'll need will be on there. The final, 6 p.m. tonight, will be on air just a few moments before. From myself, Alan March, from Emily Garrett Cox, thank you very much for joining us in the semi-finals. Hopefully we'll see you again later on.
PM. What do you think about that, Eddie? Good?